Dirt Track Features fans, we're back for Season 2. We're down in Milford, Delaware today to talk to Jordan Watson, the hometown boy, about his 2019 banner year, winning the Mid-Atlantic Championship race, and maybe trying to win outside the state of Delaware. So stay tuned for all that and more. Season 2 of Dirt Track Features presented by Dirt Track Digest.
Side by side off the corner, Friesen and Watson down the back straightaway, side by side. Lap car is there. They go by the lap car, side by side. Friesen will move by Watson and take the lead. Watson comes right back under Friesen out of turn number 4, side by side down the front.
What's up, Dirt Track Features fans? We're back with Season 2 of Dirt Track Features. We're starting off with the Delaware boy, Jordan Watson. Jordan, thanks for having us.
How's it going?
2019 was a banner year for you. Right, probably best year of your career.
Yeah, for big blocks, it was the best year we've ever had, you know, since moving up from the crate division. 12 wins and 1-2 races at Georgetown, that was big for us.
Yeah.
And we put a new team together last winter after driving the car 3 or 4 times in 2018, and everybody meshed together good, and we're looking forward to 2020.
Yeah, Delmar was, I mean, you called Delmar home. It seemed like every week you Jordan won. I mean, it was kind of, were you bored at a certain point?
No.
Were you bored?
No, I mean, it just shows, you know, how we got a great team, great people involved. It's like anything else, any other sports team. You get the right people in the right positions. You know, I got 4 or 5 guys that help me in the shop, and a great car owner for racing in Delaware. And, you know, we all just get along and we're having fun. And, you know, we work hard in the shop every week, and it showed this year.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's why I keep trying to preach to the guys that, you know, winning that race at Georgetown was awesome for us, you know, and the owner of the car, his name's Brent Hall, he was thrilled for the season, and that's just something that, you know, we're going to keep plucking along here.
Right, and there were 2 races also at Delmar that I believe you were leading one and broke with a couple to go, and there was one you were second.
Yeah, we actually,
closing in on the leader.
For points there, we only dropped out of 1 race. Every other night we were top 5. We were leading there one night and had a set of quick change gears break and wipe the rear end out, but, you know, it was great to have the year we had and to have the people on board we do.
And it was funny because the year before you won the track championship, you battled with your brother, but he won more than you did.
Yeah,
but he had a couple DNFs.
We actually that year, you know, that's kind of where I feel like the momentum for getting the ride that I have now came from. You know, we had a really tough season. We broke some motors there and wrecked a car, and we were pretty much done for the season. And Dale Hawkins came along. They had one of the midweek shows there. I jumped in the car, and Von Dorn and Watt beat me. It was the first time ever running. And I feel like that kind of like pushed us into the situation we did. You know, Ricky Elliott was driving the 58 car at the time.
Right.
They were trying to win a late model track championship, and they gave me an opportunity to jump in that car. And we went out and won some races, and here we are now.
Yeah. And I remember too, there was a night you finished second to Ryan Watt, who you normally don't have to deal with, and you ran. I mean, that was one of my favorite races of the year.
Yeah, the driver pulled his head out of his butt there. You know, I feel like that I left a little bit there, but Ryan's an awesome racer. We raced clean. You know, I think we ran elbow to elbow there for about 10 laps. I just couldn't get my, you know, he was rolling the top, I was rolling the bottom. I made a couple mistakes there at the end, but hey, I'd like to have it back and do it all over again, but it's great racing with guys like him.
Yeah, and Richie Pratt came down too and stole one from you.
Yeah, he stole one from me, you know. I wish more guys like that were there weekly, you know. The guys there weekly right now, they're all getting better, and I know a lot of them are, you know, picking up different motor programs for this coming year. So this year should be great, you know. I look forward to going back to Delmar and racing weekly and following Brett Steele and see what happens from there.
Yeah, I won't get into Florida a little bit, but a lot of the Delmar guys are going to Florida. You know, Van Gorder, Robert Dutton are a couple that I know of.
Yeah, like I feel like with the American Racer deal helps everybody out that are local around here, you know, because you know, some of the motors aren't legal and the tires and the bodies and stuff like that to run a dirt deal. And guys feel like I ran 2 dirt races there. My first time ever running big block. My grandfather had a backup car there. I jumped in it 2 nights. And that's my only ever experience in Florida.
Right.
And my guys have always wanted to go. We just never had the equipment to go there with. And now with Brett doing what he is and kind of, you know, with the open rules, we can go there and race and, you know, and throw our hat in the ring with the best there is.
Right. Well, so we'll just use it as the segue now. Florida, you were the first one to fill out the registration.
Well, the funny thing is, I didn't even know I'd filled it out. My dad, you know, he texted me one day. He was like, "Hey, I got you filled out to go to Florida." I was like, "Oh, all right." Well, I guess we talked about it. We hadn't really, you know, pushed it, and then, you know, it's something that as a group we all want to go do and have fun. We're going down for a week and to make a little vacation, and my wife's taking a little boy, and you know, it's just something we're going to go down and have a good time and try to learn some stuff and race with them guys and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean we were talking a little bit before the interview, and you're expecting some guys there that are.
Oh, I think you already see Friesen and Buchetti are on and they're talking about Decker, and
I'm sure
Shepard's going to definitely be in the house. So you know, if you can run with them guys, we were talking earlier, it's the place looks like it's a little blacker than what it does around here. If we can go there and put in some good runs, I feel like that's where we've been lacking on racetracks like that, and we're going to go there and see what happens after 3 nights of racing.
And you're running your car?
Yeah, I'm running 1J car. Yeah, we're going to take the other car for a backup. We're just waiting on the motor for my car to be about another week and a half, and we should have it pretty close to being finished up. And we're going to go down there and see what happens with them.
How much does it help having a second car that with an owner? Because you can really.
Well, I feel like this year kind of showed. We've always been a 1 car, maybe 2 motor team. You know, and it got to the point there where like 2 years ago it got kind of rough to try to finish the year out following Brett's deal.
Right.
And that's the nice thing with my car. I can concentrate on running the Georgetown races and then run Brett's races. So if I run 10, 12 races there, and there's some of the other tracks that the rules fall into places, we'll try to support them. And I'd like to I'd like to try to go to Middletown at the beginning of the year. There's some races that we got circled that if everything's going all right, we might take a little trip and try to learn. So I feel like that's some stuff that can help us in the long run.
Right. And I know Fonda, you talked about that. You wanted to go last year.
Yeah, we wanted to go last year, and the weather for early in the year we were going to go, and they were talking about snow and everything, and it was 6.5 hours. I felt like that as a decision of what was smart and what wasn't. We weren't going to go, and then we had a points race actually when the 200 was last year.
Right. Yeah.
So that kind of I'm hoping this year the schedules all come together and we can try to support that.
Right. The Short Track Super Series, you talked a little bit about it. You follow it pretty regularly now. What is your goal? I mean, every year, obviously you want to win it, but it's also tough. I mean, so what is realistic? What do you?
I mean, the couple years before we were 9th and 10th in points. I feel like the top 5 we got this week was awesome. I mean, this season was awesome to be able to go out and do. Yeah, I mean, I want to be able to win. I mean, I think the biggest thing for my team on that series is being consistent. If we got to the point where we were consistently a top 5 car against guys like Friesen and Shepard and everybody else, it's I mean, look at the regional cars that are there. With Body, Von Dorn, Dwayne Howard. Everybody that shows up. I mean, I tell people the top 15 in that series is ridiculous.
It's like, really good.
So to be able to say that I finished top 5 in points, that's great for us. And to win them races, I've won 2 of them. It's something I'll never forget.
Now, but as far as it's tough for you too, because I mean, you live way out of the realm of some of those tracks.
Yeah,
and that's
I'm definitely
the one time of year
the farthest south guy that gets to go run that tries to run the whole series. I love. I mean, I know some people think might be crazy, but I love going Big Diamond. I wish there was an opportunity somewhere where somebody needed somebody to give them an opportunity, and I would love to show up there on some Friday nights and race. I've had pretty good luck there.
If you know anybody, guys.
Yeah, if you know anybody, I'm here. I enjoy going to New Egypt. We tried going there a little more last year, which I know it's not on Brett's series this year, but I'll probably go back and try. That's one of the places where I want to run good at. I like going there and racing. It's just a different configuration. We've had our ups and downs in Susquehanna. That's some place I feel like that we've really need to work on with the series. If I could go there and pull out top 5, I'd be tickled to death.
You struggled there this year.
Yeah, the first year we went there, we finished 6th. In the last 2 years, we've just not been good on the setup that we've gone there with, and we're going to work on that. I enjoyed going to Port Royal last year. Wasn't as good as the first year. We just we got behind early in the day. The track got slick. We just never caught up. We kind of jumped the gun on some stuff, but I enjoy following that series. I enjoy the races that are in Delaware. That's a nice thing. Half the races are in Delaware. Works out good for me. I'm lucky with my job that I can get some time off. I try to save time for the summertime to go out and race. That Big Diamond deal. And I've been to Afton and places like that. We went there a couple years ago, and as a group, we enjoyed it the whole weekend.
Yeah, for the working man's race?
Yeah, for working man. So that's something, we wanted to go this year. We just didn't have the right motor combination. We're working on something to try to get that done.
Right. So. Now, you mentioned Afton. I mean, the north. I mean, I know
it's a trek. That's the biggest problem. Like my guys, they all got jobs, and I got a 7-month-old at home, and I would love to be able to say, hey, I'm gonna go try to do this, but it's just a matter of putting all the pieces together.
The day's got to be right.
Yeah, the day's got to be right. Like I looked at the schedule. I actually sat down and looked at it a couple weeks ago, and it's just tough with. I think Camp Orange normally falls around one of the series races. Like I can't go race on a Monday and then come home race Tuesday. It's just not feasible. Right. So, we'll see what
hit
happens.
him when you can.
Yeah, hit what you can. Try to learn some stuff, enjoy it. You know, that's the biggest thing. A lot of people ask, you know, what keeps you going. You know, I got a great group of guys. I mean, we've gone to high school together and stuff like that. We all work good together. We have a good time, mess with each other, and you know, it's just. I feel like the momentum's in our corner right now, you know, to keep going, and you know, I keep telling them like they've been through the bad times with me. You know, we've wrecked stuff, blown motors up, you know, thought about giving it up and stuff, and you know, we're right here right now, you know, and I look forward to going to Florida and trying to race some guys. Yeah, get it going.
And you come back from Florida, and 3 weeks after that,
head right to Delaware, you know,
kicks off the year.
I mean, I teased Brett there. Last time I seen him, I said, I don't know why you just don't schedule a Christmas Day race. You know, everybody wants to race all year long. You know, yesterday was 60 degrees here. It's a beautiful day.
Yeah, you could have done it.
But we all need some time to catch up. You know, that's the biggest thing. This is the earliest that we've ever started. We're going to Florida, so we kind of stopped our operation there, and that's why I drove to 18 at Georgetown. We were trying to like regroup. You know, we didn't know at the beginning of the year where everything was going to go, and the way everything worked out, it gave us time that we could run the 18 car there at the end of the year.
You got a spider on you, brother.
Oh, it'll be all right.
About spiders?
It'll be all right. It won't hurt you.
We got a guest star.
Oh, guest star. But yeah, we look forward to it, and then we'll see what happens from there.
And I mentioned 2019 was a banner year. You mentioned all the guys that you had with you.
Yeah.
You got a little guy now.
Oh yeah, little man Colton. You know, he's
best part of 2019.
Oh, best part of it. You know, it's been a good experience. You know, me and my wife. We both grew up around racing, and people had told me, you know, oh, you're gonna have Lil on, and everything's gonna change. I think if anything, it changed for the better. You know, I mean, there's some pictures on Facebook. He hangs out in the shop. I mean, he's getting to the point now where he rolls around and he likes bouncing around, and it's good. You know, like it's not much different. You know, everybody told me, you know, oh, you're not gonna be able to keep up and everything, but me and my wife both love racing with the rest of the family, and it's a family thing. Yeah, you know, that's the biggest thing. It's not. You know, she knows where I'm at during the week, you know, and it's I'm not out in the bar drinking or doing anything like that. I'm in the shop working, and I'm 2 miles from my house, so, you know, it works out.
And you can bring him, too.
Oh, I can bring him. If she has to work or do something like that, he's around, and the guys all get along. And
your mom and dad
my mom and dad love having him, so it's been a good deal.
Yeah.
So.
And he's 7 months,
7 months, yeah.
That's another advantage for Delaware. You can bring him in the pits.
Well, yeah, that's the worst thing with Bridgeport and, you know, New Egypt and stuff like that, you know. We were talking about that when we went to the last series race, or when we went to New Egypt with the series race, and she was like, man, if I was to take him, I'd have to sit in the bleachers the whole time. Which at Delmar, it's nice. We have a parking spot in the corner there,
right there at the end,
she can park at the fence and watch the races, or she can just bring him back to the trailer there. You know, it all works out.
Yeah.
So
it's advantageous to be a Delaware for that.
Yeah, it's good to be a Delaware for that. So.
All right. Well, you watched last year. We do rapid fire, non-racing related and racing related. So we're going to start with the non-racing related. We rolled over 2 questions, but the rest are new. So you're the first. You're our dummy. So it's rapid fire too. Some guys last year
thought too much about it.
Yeah, Neil really struggled with the rapid fire. He took like 5 minutes on one question.
But we'll try not to be like that.
Beer or liquor?
Liquor.
Fishing or hunting?
Hunting.
Steak or chicken?
Steak every day.
Ford or Chevy?
Chevy.
And favorite non-racing sport?
I'd say football.
All right. That's the one that he threw that out there, and I was like, I think I know George.
Yeah.
You'd say, what's the other one? I figured it would be football or landslide.
Oh no, I mean, I actually like golfing. Like, I don't get enough time. I don't have enough time to do it, but that's the problem with racing. You know, I actually didn't even buy a hunting license this year. Like normally that's something me and my brother Joseph do. We hunt quite a bit.
You hunted with Trent Cole, right?
Yeah, we went with Trent Cole last year. Like,
I'm mad I didn't get a phone call.
Yeah, well, that was just like a buddy of mine. It's funny how that worked out, but he was like, man, we got this spot, and you know, Trent's gonna go with us. He's supposed to go deer hunting, and it fell through.
Right.
So he ended up meeting us. It was an awesome experience, but I didn't even buy a hunting license this year because of this going to Florida.
Right, yeah,
it's just, you know, every weekend's been that kind of deal, you know, and we're, like I said, we're full speed ahead and go race in Florida.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I was thinking about it, and originally I was like, well, you got Florida and then some time.
Yeah, but
no, it's Florida. You come right back, Delmar, Georgetown's the following weekend.
It's funny because it's like we're going to start February and March, and then Delmar normally doesn't start till late April or something. So I know last year we raced, and then had like 3 or 4 weeks off. So. We'll figure something out. We'll get ready from there.
Well, you talked to motor packages. Might allow you to go.
Let's see what happens. We're trying to work on something else. If we can get some stuff going, maybe try to get a spec motor, get a Bridgeport with. So we're working on it and see what happens from there.
All right. Well, we've killed some of my points there. But the Delaware races, specifically Georgetown and the 2 Georgetown ones.
I don't want to knock a regular Saturday night at Delmar win, but I tell people all the time, winning on a Saturday night is different than winning
and winning the Brett Series races. Yeah, you know, and we won there in August, just a regular Friday night show. We beat Waddy. We were really good that night.
That was that wing night?
Yeah, it was wingless night. Wingless night. They had the USAC cars. Yeah. So
that's right. Yeah.
We were good there that night. We won in our family car, and then at the end of the year we drove the 18 car. And like we talk about races like that. Like I've won the champ show at Delmar, and we beat some good cars like Waddy and Von Dorn and stuff like that. There,
right.
I feel like races like that, you'll never forget about them. Like that deal there at Georgetown. Like I felt like that, where we started, the cars that started in front of us, for Deo's end of the year show. That, I was like, if we could just pace ourselves, because the track was fast early. I was like, I felt like we were decent, and then we kept getting kind of shuffled around on the restarts. Like I needed to be on the outside, and I got messed up one restart and fell back, and I felt like I could hold my own. It was just a matter of keeping yourself there, and then some things happened there, and Von Dorn broke, and Larry White broke, and I was like, man, we're sitting in a good spot. We just need to fight it out here, and then. From the restart, Friesen picked the bottom, and I was like, oh, well, here's the chance of a lifetime. I'm getting ready to drive this thing in one and not give up, So I drove in there about as hard as I drove in all night and got a run on him, drove around him. And then we got to lap traffic, and I just started getting loose coming off. He got back by me, and I tried to regroup.
I imagine you're like doing this. And
I was like, get out of the way. Come on, let's go. You see them guys coming. I've always been a guy when I see lap cars, like I want to race them harder than anybody else. Because I figured, that's you either lose time or gain time. And I just got to the point when I got to lap traffic, I was holding on. And I was like, this is not going to be good. They're in my groove. I was running in the middle to the top.
Yeah.
And he got back by me, and I was trying to keep him close. I was like, man, if I can just calm down here for a couple of laps, get my tires back, I'll be all right. And I started to make a run there, about 3 or 4 to go. And I seen him going into 3, and he kind of fluttered a little bit. And I was like, man, that's weird. What's going on? And then I seen him pull up the top, and I was like, I told people, they were like, oh man, you got lucky. But we were there.
Right.
We weren't running 15th, and the whole field wiped out. We were running second to Stuart Friesen, and he broke. And to me, that was a huge night for the family. Everybody, and as a group, that was exciting for a Delaware racer. That's my thing. That I grew up watching racing in Delaware. Watched Jamie and H.J. and Bobby Wilkins and all them guys. And I was that kid that played with Matchbox cars, and you couldn't. That's how my parents used to discipline us. Like me and my brother, like we did something wrong in school. You can't go to races on Saturday. We would sit out in the yard and scream. It was terrible. We were just thinking to ourselves, like, how are we going to make it through the weekend? And then we got a little bit older, and we started working on race cars, and it's always been a family thing. Even if the guys that help me aren't family, we all treat each other like family. That's the biggest part of it, and it's been amazing. Last year was amazing. A lot of great things happened, and we'll see what happens in 2020.
Your post-race interview that night was probably about as long as this interview.
Probably, yeah.
I like to talk.
I like to talk once I get a little. A lot of people know me and say, "Man, that guy's so quiet." Yeah, that's how it works until I drink a couple drinks and we get dancing around or something, or you win a big race and then you're like, "Man, who is that guy?" I just go to the racetrack with a different mentality. The guys that help me, they know, like. We have fun time and then we have work time. Yeah. When we get to the racetrack, it's work time. I don't really go there to mingle and talk and like I try to keep myself focused and go there for what I'm trying to do. It's a big deal. We all put a lot of money in the race. I got people to help me out that without them I wouldn't be able to race. And I feel like when I go to the racetrack, I owe it to them to go there and put it best effort in.
Right, and you do, and I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah. My wife tells me a lot of times, shut up. She'll see me in an interview and she'll be like, just stop. Like, why? You're good. Just back up. So
but listen, feel free to talk as much as you want here.
Yeah.
No, but that was the Delaware, especially the Delaware races, the big ones at Delmar. Obviously, I don't get to make it to a ton of regular Saturdays at Delmar, but the big ones at Delmar and the Georgetown ones, I don't think there's a better home fan base, I guess.
Especially Georgetown. Like, I couldn't remember when I was a young kid ever really going there, like because it was closed up so much. My parents took me there, but I was too young to remember. And I remember the first time when they opened back up, I remember standing there and watching a race, and I was like, man, like I've never seen this before. This is awesome.
Yeah.
And the Georgetown fans, for whatever reason. It's just like when you get out of the car there, when you're a local, they love you. And they support you, and that's the thing. Like, I have so many people tell me, like, man, we just want you to go there and beat them guys. And I'm like, well, I want to go do the same thing, Like, so when that happened that night, like I won that race of Brett's there a couple years ago, and that was big. But I felt like,
15,
that was big, but 2019, like to me, that field of cars that was there, like that was humongous. You know, and that to us, that's the biggest one we've ever had.
Yeah, that was championship night. There was a lot going on that night. Shepard was the grand champion.
You know, we moved up in points to 5th. You know, and like that was. Hey, it was
Stu was right in the middle of running for a championship with the trucks and everything, and then here's Jordan Watson, Delaware boy.
Steal the show. You know, that old redneck from down southern Delaware come down there. You know, and hey,
but
it was great.
It's cool because like if you go to New Jersey, they don't. It's split, you know. Like some of them are Shepard and Friesen fans, and some of them are Jordan, you know, and Joseph and Jamie fans, and you know, some of them are Ryan Watt and Richie Pratt and Billy Pouch fans. But it's like,
I want to be that guy that when they come to Delaware, that the fans are like, you know, we want our local boy to take him down, you know. And I told the fans that tonight, like, you got to build them up. I mean, I need all the fans I can get. You know, that's what becomes when this guy like Stuart Friesen's in the house and Shepard. Like, I want people in the corner, you know, rooting for me. You know.
And then you're obviously pretty daggone good, but you've got family too. We talked about Joseph winning more than you last year.
It's a couple years ago there. He won. You know, he was having a good year at Delmar, and we were struggling. And he about midsummer had a couple issues. You know, dropped out of some races, and we were kind of being consistent there. And you know, we stole that championship from him. You know, and we had a lot of people help us. You know, like I said about August, we were done, and I had Dale Hawkins and I had Brent Hall and Jake Marine at the time. They owned the 58 car. They gave me an opportunity, and I'll be forever grateful for that opportunity because it's got me in the situation I am now. You know, and it's helping my family team out. You know, we're really trying hard to stack our equipment with what we got here so that we have 2 potent cars, and that's what we work on all winter.
But tell racing with Joseph. I mean, and it's not just the racing too. I mean, his shop's 2 houses down. I mean, throughout the week, it's like it's a weird dynamic to me. You know,
there's probably no other feel. Like we grew up like we played everything, baseball together. I played first base, he played second base. So if you can imagine 2 brothers playing baseball. Like there was multiple times somebody was getting cussed and somebody was getting gloves thrown at them or something. You know, like we were always in the yard racing bikes. Somebody was Bob and Creedy, somebody was Brett Hearn, somebody was laying on the ground, tore up, hurt. And it's just I feel like we race each other, try to race each other as clean as we can. But we race harder than anybody else. Because there's this joke going around about Sunday dinner. My mom has Sunday dinner a lot of times. And they started doing this dipping ice cream thing. So whoever won the night before had to dip ice cream for the other one. So it's definitely a grudge going back and forth. You know, we don't share any info. We don't do any of that kind of stuff.
With the shops
my shop's my shop, his shop's his shop. If I get wrecked or he gets wrecked, hey, we'll share parts, do whatever. But we just
no setup talk.
No, we don't talk about that kind of stuff. We'll talk about the Eagles and stuff like that, but we don't talk about what we're doing to race cars. So, it's been something that you'll never forget. We had a lot of good nights together. And somewhere down the road we'll sit back and we'll think about all the times we raced each other and how much fun it was. I hope whatever direction he goes this year with racing, wherever he's going to be at, that he has good luck. I hope he's at Delmar. If he's not there, I'll be keeping up with him and wherever he's at. So
all right, so we'll get into our second set of rapid fire. These are the racing related, so these should be easier. Delmar or Georgetown? Put you on the spot.
I'll be honest with you. I love going to Georgetown because of the fan base, but there's something about Charlie's racetrack since he took the walls out or took the tires out.
Right.
To me, it's most of the time it's really smooth and it's racy. I wish that he had more big races there because I think that it puts on a heck of a show.
A lot of people, this racetrack to racetrack, a lot of people, Delmar is.
Georgetown's fast, hammered down. It kind of reminds me of Bridgeport a lot of times, and I like them kind of smaller intermediate tracks where you once it blows off a little bit, you got to move around and kind of pick the groove. Not where it's just hammered down, But I'd say Delmar for the racetrack, Georgetown for the atmosphere.
Okay, all right, that's fair. Favorite? I think we kind of got the favorite win of your career.
I would say definitely the deal last year at Georgetown for the Mid-Atlantic Championship. I remember my first champ show winning a big block and stuff like that. Like that was big, but that deal there with the field of cars, that's awesome.
That's it. Your favorite non-Delaware track?
Oh man, I would say Big Diamond. I mean, just for some reason.
You run really well there.
Yeah, for some reason I enjoy that place. And since they put that last year, I only got to go there one time with that clay. Like I enjoyed going and running that. Like I've never had the opportunity to go to Grandview or nothing. Like, I mean. To me, there's really
folks, if you're out there.
There's not really many racetracks that I'll say I don't like. There's like New Egypt's tough, so that makes me want to go there and try it more,
Right.
you know, and that's.
Right.
But I really, for some reason, enjoy going to Big Diamond and the shape of the track. I've never been to Grandview, so I couldn't tell you nothing about that to
Right.
race on it. But hey, yeah, if there's anybody out there, I'm here. So.
How long till Colton's in a race car?
If you ask my wife tomorrow, I don't know. She asked me not long ago how old they had to be to get a quarter midget, and I'm like, man, I better start looking for a yard cart because at 2 years old, you can have him.
My brother's got a track in the back.
I know. Like that's how we started. There was a track in the yard over here, and me and my brother had go karts, and that's what I'm sure it'll be right around the corner. She'll be wanting.
It'll be here before you know
He's just barely crawling around and stuff, and she'll have him in a race car.
All right, last question. Race you most want to win?
That's a tough one. I mean, everybody wants to go win, like, what used to be Syracuse. It's Oswego now.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say that's probably the top race. And modifieds to go out and win. I probably won't ever get the opportunity to go run it because it's on Hoosier tires. I don't have a big block,
Well, you could invest in that for a week.
Ooh, yeah.
Well, the motor. Yeah, the motor.
Yeah, the motor's the tough thing. I would say that's the biggest race. If you went to Florida and won one of these races with the cars they're going to have, or the car count they're going to have, I think that would be
Right.
awesome. But it's definitely that Oswego deal would be the biggest big block race.
All right, and then I'll get you to the last question because we've talked about Delaware and defending the home turf and everything, but you haven't won a Brett race at Delmar.
No. That's been eluding us for whatever reason. And last year we were good there, and the driver made a big mistake in the heat race and tore the front clip up. And we were good. We ended up 6th, but
Yeah.
we had to fix the front clip at the racetrack. We didn't have time to really work on the car,
Right.
and I really regret that. I felt like that night that we had something for them, because that's something that I feel like we take good notes there, and a lot of people don't understand. That's when I started racing crates. Will Brown always helped my uncle, and then Will Brown also had Pouch and Friesen drive the car, and that's kind of when I was 16 years old, and I followed him around. I actually went to the track with him a lot and watched Pouchy race and watched Friesen race. And I remember Pouchy telling me one night, you always got to have an open notebook for everywhere you go.
Right.
Whether it's a good night or bad night. You
got to take the notes.
And that's something I've always tried. Like whether it's bad or good, I still try to sit down and take notes on what happened.
Right.
And that night just last year got away from us. I look forward to going back to this year. We'll see what happens. And to win one of Brett's deals, you got to have. I mean, there's a lot of good cars that've never won one of them races.
Right.
Everything's got to fall your way, and you got to be a little bit lucky too.
Right. And it's especially with Delmar, because Superman Shepard has really taken a shine.
Well, he's
to that
good
place.
there, and the worst part of that is like last year we hadn't ran any normal races there.
Yeah, that was the first race
That was
of
our
the year.
first race there. Like I would love to get 3 or 4 weeks to where you could go there, run.
Yeah.
Last year we went in there, and we had been off like 3 or 4 weeks before we went there and raced.
Right.
It's tough. Like I want to win in front of Delmar, but I would really want to win out of Delaware.
Right.
That's my biggest thing is. I feel like if I want to race outside of Delaware, then people might look at me a little bit different than looking at me as just winning in Delaware.
Yeah, if we go to Delaware, Jordan's tough.
Hell, he's tough for them 2 racetracks. Yeah, I want to be tough everywhere I go.
Right.
And that's something we're working at.
Like I said, it's tough because you live so far south. It's tough for you to get out there.
And you race in your region, and I'm following Brett's deal, and we'll keep plugging along and see what happens. Yeah, we'll get one.
I'm sure a lot of people that know it's going to happen.
Sooner or later, we'll get one. So.
Well, good luck in 2020. I'll see you in Florida, big guy.
Thanks a lot.
Go Birds.
Yep, go Eagles.
This is Dirt Track Features Season number 2 presented by Dirt Track Digest. Jordan Watson, thanks for having us. And we'll see you next time, everybody.